Peace, quick little thing fast. I'm doing this video to raise awareness so that, you know, at least from this moment on, we could have less people sacrificing. Well, literally, that is a sacrifice because the government not giving a fuck about the people who are in the armed forces. But, I'm making this video so, the younger generation could realize not to become, person in the armed forces and to not take pride in that shit. And I'm not knocking those who do, because when you're brainwashed to believe a certain thing and brainwashed to believe you saving something, then you're gonna take pride in what you do because you're thinking that you're actually saving somebody, which I'm pretty sure anybody with the least amount of sense would kind of realize at some point that being in the armed forces for America for sure is not really helping anything but harming. But like, as I see this slab, they got these slabs of names. Oh, it's a little display, the war vet display in Baton Rouge. In fact, I also think about the movie Dead Presidents, kind of giving you that insight. Matter of fact, in Vietnam War, you see it from Forrest Gump, Dead Presidents, all these different movies. What it is, We Were Soldiers, I think, with Mel Gibson. But realizing that, the government has admitted, just like how it admitted guilt to killing Martin Luther King, and other situations that just kind of like, oh, yeah, well, we kind of killed somebody or we kind of fucked over somebody, but hey, let's look at in other news, like that's what the media. But, it's like this vibe where, matter of fact, people fight for this country, but this country don't fight for the people. And also just the fact, again, like with Vietnam War, where, matter of fact, if you check out my video I did not too long ago about Veterans Day, I spoke on it, as well as there's another video I spoke on it though, but like the Gulf of Tonkin, or aka USS Maddox situation, where basically, the Vietnam War was started off a false flag, purposely. And if you're unfamiliar with false flag, situations, go look up Operation Northwood, a proven false flag situation that JFK was the president at the time, and he denied it. What they basically, Operation Northwoods basically they was trying to find a way to war on Cuba, just like they're trying to find a way to war on Vietnam, but they actually, again, was successful at creating a little fake situation. But this situation didn't go through because, again, Kennedy, when they presented it to Kennedy was like, nah, like, what the fuck? But basically they was gonna try to get some Cuban actors, because again, you start to see the connection with Hollywood in all aspects of, the government and all this, it's all, an act, like presidential elections, that's like wrestling. You know what I'm gonna do to you, brother? I'm gonna, Macho Man and Hulk Hogan. No coincidence that they was promoting the New World Order on WCW with Hulk Hogan. But anyway, just raising the awareness to help people to realize that, this country is not, being in the armed forces, you're not saving anything, you're not protecting anything. Matter of fact, if anything, they sending you to go harm some people. And again, back to Operation Northwood, where it's gonna actually take some Cuban actors and, put them in this area and make it seem like they was gonna shoot up some shit, so the government could be like, you see, look at how them Cubans infiltrating we need to set up this protection, Same thing with 9/11, in which, the evidence of, like a plane hitting a building at a high point of that building, but yet that building collapsed, demolition style. Like if I hit a top part of the building, now I could understand, like, wherever it get hit at, that top part falling over. But to say one airplane is gonna make steel beams just fall like that, and again, there's proof. You go look it up. If you care about being knowledgeable about these situations, all you gotta do is go look it up and want to be, just want to ask yourself, matter of fact, higher self, source, God, however you, but realizing this inward. I want to know the true knowledge of what's really going on around me. May within my day, may you present me with the true facts, the true knowledge of what's really going on. You know, like use that as an affirmation. You know, like look in the mirror or just in the morning when you wake up, or just but just ask higher self, like, forget the bullshit. Like, I'm not like on some open-minded stuff, source, God. I just want you to show me the truth. And I don't care what the truth is. That's another thing too. Some people do care what the truth is. Like, they scared of the truth, so therefore they're not open to the truth. Like if you're a white supremacist, you're not trying to be open to the truth, because there's somewhere in the back of your head you kind of know that if I go digging deep into the truth, I'm gonna find out that that these Neanderthals and all this England and George Washington stuff is some recent stuff, and then some of it even fabricated to create a certain story. So again, if you're not open fully, or if you're scared of a certain part, then you're not going to be open to the full truth. But again, with the Vietnam War being one, and they always putting it out there like, man, this is one of the the Vietnam War, for all these people again transition. And also speaking of that, like with dog tags, like shout out to my brother Brad for making me aware of that. But like how the people who call the shots in essence, for this little corporation called America, they call the people who do the little dirty work the dogs. Like, we're gonna let the dogs take care of that. So it's no coincidence that in the Army you got a dog tag, and in this country, dog is a man's best friend, because a dog is easy to control. A man, in a sense of like the European aspect of like overly masculine, overly logical, overly scientific, of course something that wants to control everything is gonna, like an animal that's easier to control. You know what I'm saying? But the whole situation, y'all, whatever you do, like, cause say for instance, some people like, but, and that's where you're brainwashed to be disconnected from the guy within. Or you brainwashed to think that you have to, not say have to be in society on a certain level, but it's like, well, what I'm gonna do? Like, some people feel like, man, the Army is the only option, man. It pays for school, this and that. They brainwashing you in them schools anyway. It's 360 degrees of knowledge, and they only giving you one. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not getting real knowledge, or like, oh man, I can't. Well, by feeling like you gotta join the Army or do something like that in order to, save yourself in essence, then that's almost like a lack of belief. I say almost, it's not believing in the source within. It's like, I don't trust that the almighty source, that all that is and that's within me, I don't trust that I could, make things happen with that. So I rather just trust this faulty ass corporation called amerikkka, to take care of me. And again, where you getting this little financial, you getting taken care of, but it's a balance to it. Of course we want to sustain ourselves and take care of ourselves in this realm, but once you start to tap into the law of attraction, realizing that what we focus on, what we speak on, grows into the physical, and when lined up with our emotions and our actions, it definitely comes full circle. And the fact that, again, we are capable of manifesting it in all things. Back to subconscious work. The only reason why you feel like you have to go to the Army, again, social engineering. They got all these people at your school, like they had a little army, people at your school recruiting. That's all social engineering. Trying to implementing this certain mind frame in your subconscious over the years, you know, and then little kids grow up and they're like, oh, look at the war. That's why they always try to paint these people as war heroes, you know. And I done heard stories like my brethren, you know, certain brethren and sisters I done talked to where, you know, they spoke on things that they almost felt like damn, like I may go to from their mind frame of going to hell, but there is no hell. You can't burn in flames without a body, you know, and our body is fire, so how we gonna burn in hell, you know? But anyway, there were some people that spoke on how like some situations, you know, the things they done seen were innocent little kids and all this getting shot, and all this for the sake of a government trying to control the world and not really protecting anybody, to monopolize on, you know, oils. Matter of fact, all that isn't a good way for fuel, because Nikola Tesla already proved ways of us dealing with energy on a free level and efficiently, and on a level that wouldn't cause, you know, a lot of pollution. It's just, you know, all these different factors. I kind of forgot where I was with that one. But just, you know, realizing ye are gods. You know, whatever you allow yourself to perceive, whatever you allow yourself to consent to, like this government, these people gonna go as far as you allow them to. You know, you look at Haiti. You know, Haiti is an independent country. You know, when we talk about wealth, like that's what I was gonna say too. Like some people will know, you know, the army gonna do school and take care of my bills, this and that. So that's like that's not the only option, you know, for you to sustain yourself. And again, through social engineering, social programming, social engineering, subconscious programming of constantly, you know, in fact, again, making these little army people look like, you know, like, oh, they just saved our lives, and, you know, make it seem very heroic, when in all actuality, and again, not knocking nobody who's been, you know, duped by the system. You know, we all in some way, form, or fashion been duped by the system, you know. Like I think about, you know, certain mothers out there who allow, you know, didn't know no better, and allow for the doctors to dupe them into having a C-section, you know, and being drugged up and split open during the most important aspect of the, you know, the soul that's coming out of their body, the most think about that too. That's some real God shit, that a soul, you know, a new soul comes out of a woman. But yeah, like they subconsciously program the situation, and you think dealing with these medicines and what they call it, the epidural and this and that, you know. And again, not knowing no better, because I done came across women that's like, you know, like, oh yeah, I took that epidural. Like they take pride in it, because we live in an insane society that take pride, you know, in insane thing. Like, you know, again, not knocking nobody on their growth, but it is what it is. We gotta start holding ourselves accountable to really learn what's going on around us, you know. Because even me on my spiritual growth, like realizing, of course, you want to meditate. Of course, I don't want to overly focus on external things, but I do want to be aware of my surroundings, you know what I'm saying? I want to be aware of what's going on around me. You know, if I'm not aware of what's going on around me, then, you know, I'm not going to be operating realistically, you know. Kind of like having a broke leg. Like, how could I give a proper diagnosis if I'm ignoring certain information, certain facts, you know? It's like, how could I heal my leg if I'm ignoring it? You know, if I break my leg and I'm not looking at it, like, well, I ain't gonna give it the proper, you know, diagnosis, because I'm not really taking a look at it, you know. America is not gonna get a proper diagnosis if everybody keep lying and acting like, you know, like modern day slavery, like they're still not trying to push that, and to act like there's still not racism in this country, you know. That's not a proper diagnosis. So by ignoring what's really going on, you're not going to give a proper diagnosis. You're not going to be able to fix the situation. You know? So with that being said, just back to full circle, 360 degrees. To the youth out there, realize that the situation with the armed forces is some bullshit, straight up. I've been on this earthly plane for 32 years. 32 years this bodysuit been on this earthly plane, and I never seen no Iraq people knock at my door. I never seen no Afghanistan people threaten my neighborhood. I never seen like any, and somebody could say, well, no, that's because we protected. Like, nah, again, this is the same country that starts false flags to come at other countries. And then statistically, look at statistics on other levels. Like, this country has it incarcerates the most people out of other countries in the world. It has the most serial killers. And I'm saying this, go look this up. Like, don't just take my word for it. That's another thing too. Again, I'm saying this so you could go research. Like, I'm not saying this shit just so you could just take what I'm saying and just walk away with that. Like, nah, go research, go look it up. Go look up Gulf of Tonkin. Go look up USS Mag. Go look up the situation, the Philadelphia experience, Philadelphia experiment, a Philadelphia project, Or you look at the certain aspects where this country bombed, like they actually bomb a black neighborhood in Philly. They tore down Black Wall Street. Whenever Martin Luther King, which they promoted him to march, but they made him seem like a terrorist for standing up for people's rights. The same country who locked up all Asian people when it was, I think it was dealing with, it wasn't Vietnam, it was maybe World War II. But like, with Pearl Harbor, and when they was dealing with the Japanese people, so they was like, well, fuck it, we just gonna put all people of that descent in concentration camps. So imagine being a citizen right now. So like, matter of fact, melanated brethren, and say for instance, which they know better, that's why they don't have no wars on Africa. And the closest, the one time they tried, go watch the movie Black Hawk Down, and how they got their ass tore up for trying to deal with situations that ain't got nothing to do with them. And that was at the beginning of that movie. Like, the movie was leaking some sauce at the beginning. If you watch the movie Black Hawk Down, and the white brethren talking to that black brethren, and he like, bro, if y'all know what's best for y'all, go back to your fucking country and just go, keep your bullshit somewhere else. But the soldiers, and again, them not giving a fuck about the soldiers. Here it is again, just trying to play, let's fix everybody else's situations. And there's a fact on our spiritual growth. Like, look at the power of now, because again, this is also, we are spiritual, we are a source on a human experience, so it's not just human shit too. It's like, look at the aspect of our being and how when we operating at our maximum, on a spiritual growth, say for instance, is not trying to go outside the world fixing other people. It's fixing ourselves, is being the change we want to see. If every government official decided to really help the world and be the change that they want to see, then they wouldn't have to put, well, in essence, I said they wouldn't have to push those lies to fuck over people. But if they would really acknowledge it, then we would have that change. And then here it is, where you see all these other countries not dealing with all these serial killers, not dealing with locking up everybody, shit like that, and they seem to be living fine. You know what I'm saying? That's why it'd be so important about leaving this country. Why everybody be stressing like, bro, you need to travel, man. You need to travel. You need to travel. Because again, getting out. And I just did a video about like our vehicle being up to par. Like our bodysuit, and when our bodysuit unhealthy, it's not gonna take us to the places that a healthy bodysuit could take. Just like as above, so below. Just like a car, Like when a car got a leak in the front tire and one of the gaskets leaking, you can't really travel across the country in that, you know what I'm saying? Or you won't even have the urge to, you know, because that's what it's really hitting at. Like when you know your car is kind of messed up, you kind of depressed and you ain't even got that urge to even go nowhere. You know, same thing with your bodysuit. Some people like, oh, I'm gonna just stay in my neighborhood, keep drinking my 40s, keep doing this, not knocking nobody's situation, speaking on it how it is, and you keep that unhealthy bodysuit. Then you know you ain't trying to take your vehicle no further than around the corner to the liquor store to get some more to drink, you know. So you know, just seeing that aspect on so many different levels. But again, you know, even Thomas Jefferson kind of said it in so many words, like, bruh, you know, if God is a just God, you know, I feel sorry for this country in the future. That come from, in so many words, that come from Thomas Jefferson. You know, like, you know, matter of fact, Thomas Jefferson, a real fan of melanated women and his slaves. Probably why you don't see too many white Jeffersons, like white people with the last name Jefferson. So many, I know that like the Jeffersons, show the Jeffersons, moving on. Like, but anyway, you know, this country is, you know, full of lies, full of bullshit. It's not a country, it's a corporation. That's why, you know, your birth certificate, you know, go check out my video I spoke on maritime law and words and etymology, dealing with that. You know, and like everything being on the waters, being on the sea, your birth certificate is like a rite of passage on the waters, like, hey, like, let's show your ID type of vibe, you know, treating you like a corporation instead of like, you know, a sovereign being, you know, so they could be able to control you. And that's why it's so cool. Matter of fact, if you want to really see, like, matter of fact, go look up on YouTube, look up like Moors and police. Like, matter of fact, if you just look up that Moors and court system, or because I think about a video I came across where Brethren didn't have no license, no registration, he was speeding, and he got away with all that. And I say got away like he did something wrong, but you know, because again, he ain't doing nothing wrong. That's they bullshit to say that you gotta have this in the first place. Who says that, you know, do the people do the people on the Sentinel Islands and the Solomon Islands, do they need IDs and all that, you know? Let's keep it real. And again, it's also coming from a peoples who disconnected from spirit, so all they know is just doing things on a physical, egotistical wavelength. And that's where it comes to a level where, you know, that Bible, like, speak for yourself, like, you know, this society, you know, built by Europeans, and it's not to say that all Europeans are bad or evil or anything. Not even saying they are bad or evil, they just being what they are, you know what I'm saying? But like, how could I learn about the psychology of myself, spoken from somebody who believe themselves to be a descendant of a Neanderthal, or, you know, somebody who's not tapping into the spiritual realm, trying to tell me how to do things when I'm tapping into the spiritual realm more than them, and how I'm getting a proper learning experience, you know, kind of back to the school system, like how, you know, here it is where you go kindergarten to 12th grade, you never hear about a chakra, you never hear about how strong your subconscious is and how it manifests your reality. That's a very important fact that, you know, maybe as a little kid that would be good to know, you know. So starting from the youth, we could start molding our lives into, you know, realizing that we are God on a human experience, and start, you know, living out our blissful soul purpose, you know. But again, just this whole aspect, and again, there's people, and that's how they do it, as much as you allow them to, you know, because since they know that most people are brainwashed to the fact that, you know, they really not saving shit with the army. You know, people coming to this memorial and like, oh, you know, people fought for our country, this and that. Now, of course, I got reverence and respect for transitioning souls. But I don't give reverence and respect to a bullshit ass system that's constantly trying to kill people, or not kill people's souls, but constantly trying to keep people's souls from ascending, constantly keeping people from realizing that they are God on a human experience. I don't deal with that. But that's basically it. Again, for the youth, and don't sign up for this bullshit. And take this as a warning if you do. Like, I already spoke. And I didn't even know I told you so, because it's not even like that. I would jokingly say it, but nah, it is what it is. You got to learn from experience. So, the perfection in our existence is realizing that we're not perfect. So yeah, we may make some decisions that may not be the most beneficial for our soul. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I made some decisions like that on my growth. But then we get to a point of realizing, like, hey, all right, come across certain information, and you open up your mind and be like, all right, source, all right, God, like, show me what is, like, lead me to the truth, guide me to the divine truth, and not just not on no subjective, but like objective truth. Like, I don't care if I find out that it's blue people living under the ground and they got us controlled or whatever, like, I just want to know what's really going on, and that's, if you start working with that inner source and asking, again, asking you shall receive. Ye see it and ye shall have it. Matter of fact, it probably got a little bit to do with Shakespeare. So say, Shakespeare, King James had a little thing. So say, with all that haveth and yeeth. But that's in the Holy Bible. The Christ, or the Christ energy, which they try to turn into a historical figure called Jesus. Got parables speaking on, like, hey, with what it like you could move mountains. Like, I forgot the little verses, but basically, again, pointing to the law of attraction, pointing to to the God being within. Is it not written in your law that ye are gods? Like, dumb motherfuckers. That's what he said. Like, the Bible was like, he was like, well, shit, is it not written in your law? But what he really said, like, y'all dumbass motherfuckers, is in your book. So, because he was like, for which one of my good deeds are y'all gonna stone me? Like, some people was coming to stone him, and they was like, well, you walking around saying you God and shit, so we about to stone you. He was like, shit, you stupid motherfuckers. Is it not written in your fucking book that you claim to hold so holy that ye are gods? Dumbasses. And I say that with love. It comes a certain point where you gotta acknowledge some type of form of something that makes sense, at some point. Shout out to these garnets and this root chakra crystals I'm working with. Got me fired up this morning. And you see, speaking of that, root chakra fired up. But if I'm full of soy, I'm full of fetal estrogen, and my root chakra not as grounded, and and I'm feeling less masculine, then I wouldn't be so strong about speaking up on what really should be spoken up on, So that's another situation. I done spoke on that on multiple levels, trying to demasculinize the men. One of the things I came across while being in LA, which I realized, like, the little hint, hint, wink, wink thing amongst some people, where it's like they were happy, like, basically, like, oh yeah, we got us a docile nigga, we got us one, like, basically, like, we done got him, he peaceful, he look at you on the overly peaceful vibe. And that's the thing too, which I spoke to with starting my videos. I'm like, I knew that people wasn't gonna accept the straight up truth, just raw up front. So I had to kind of, kind of, soften the voice a little bit, you know what I'm saying, to a certain extent, because even with my earliest videos, I still had levels of like, being up front, raising my voice, things of this nature, because it's a balance, I want to have material, like, say for instance, other than the news, to have material that where you could get a positive message, a message that would be, helpful to your subconscious mind, of constantly seeing, a certain level of peacefulness, within the thing. But again, that's a authentic vibe as well. Like, I'm not like, I rather laugh and clown than be frowned up and be mad. That's just my vibe. But I definitely presented it in that manner, like knowing I'm like, I know people not going, so I had to play that vibe. Again, that's why I don't knock nobody that, like, say for instance, certain people with platforms where they may dodge, or in the past they may have dodged speaking on certain situations, because they knew that, they wouldn't get the following to really, have that strong influence, because, that works when you're able to, pull people in and get that following, and then and then you start keeping it, or not say just start, but then you start applying more and more of the realness to your videos once you done got everybody looking, So I don't knock people who, may have started with that approach to just pull people in, and then now they, let people have it in essence. It's a chess game, we gotta make it happen in some way, form, or fashion, Like, it's definitely, and I think about, that's why I was thinking, like, the chess game of being gullible in in LA, and people like, oh, I could feel the vibe of like, oh yeah, we got them, and they were kind of, trying to promote that vibe, which I wouldn't allow it. But I remember dealing with certain people, and the men want to hug and then kiss you in the neck. It's like, you ain't gotta kiss me in the neck to show me love, you know what I'm saying? Or do you have to say I love you 1,000 times to show me love? And I understand that everybody's, different, but when I'm getting that type of uniqueness, and my higher self, like, letting me be aware of that something's funny, then I gotta go with higher self before I go with any external situation, But that's basically it, Don't give in to the bullshit, y'all. Don't become one of these names on this wall. That's all I'm saying. Peace. Happy now. How's the vibrate? Of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now.